आज संसद के अंदर दिल्ली के लोगों को गुलाम बनाने वाला बिल पास कर दिया गया। चोर दरवाजे से, पीछे से चोर दरवाजे से इन्होंने दिल्ली की सत्ता को हथियाने की कोशिश की है। आपको पावर इसलिए नहीं दी गई है कि आप देश के लोगों को लाचार बना दें और उनके वोट का अधिकार छीन लें।
The contentious Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2023, which replaces the Ordinance on Control of Services in the Capital and gives sweeping powers to the Lieutenant Governor and bureaucrats, got Parliament's seal of approval. What does this mean? We explain.
It is the question of which bureaucrat gets which department, and after getting that department, what they do is what was at the core of the tussle between the BJP-led centre and the Aam Aadmi Party government as soon as it was formed in 2015. So what happens now is that there is an authority, a body, which is basically called the NCCSA, which is the National Capital Civil Services Authority, which is a 3-member body which has the Delhi Chief Minister, in this case Mr. Kejriwal, as its chairperson, who has the power to call the sittings of or the meetings of the authority. And the other 2 members, however, of the 3-member body are senior bureaucrats who by tradition and also by practice are picked by the centre. They are the Principal Secretary Home and the Chief Secretary of Delhi. The Principal Secretary Home because given the constitutional status of Delhi and the rights and privileges as well as limitations that Delhi has as a union territory with a legislature under Article 239AA of the Constitution, these 3 members or this 3-member body is supposed to decide on the transfers, the postings and the vigilance matters of bureaucrats or civil servants in Delhi who administer it through different departments. The issue started in 2015 when the Ministry of Home Affairs, which was under the BJP centre, brought in a notification in July basically allegedly snatching away the powers of the Delhi government, and this was in regards to service matters, which is basically the transfers and postings of bureaucrats. The main issue which later reached the Supreme Court, which finally in early May this year came to a conclusion where a 5-member bench of the Supreme Court handed over the reins of services to the Delhi government, led to the promulgation of the ordinance, which later became a bill and is now an act. So at the core of this is the NCCSA, which now has the power to sit and decide on which bureaucrat is posted in which particular department, and as a result has a bearing on the administration of Delhi through different government departments. The Delhi government's contention was and continues to be now more so the fact that through the NCCSA, of which the Chief Minister may be a part but is in a minority compared to the 2 other members of the 3-member body who are in practice bureaucrats who are picked by the centre, will always only decide matters which favour or are in line with what the centre wants in terms of the postings and transfers and the vigilance matters related to bureaucrats or civil servants in Delhi. The other change which the ordinance, which is now an act after being passed by both houses of parliament, has brought in is placing the NCCSA, the 3-member authority, also at a prime position when it comes to deciding on the members and the chairpersons of various bodies such as boards and other autonomous bodies in Delhi. Earlier, the Delhi government, it has been argued, and it was seemingly in practice in this sense, that the Delhi government had slightly more autonomy to be able to choose who a particular board member or who the chairperson of a particular board or a commission would be in Delhi. Now, all of these individuals, whether they are members or the chairpersons of these boards and similar bodies, are to be decided upon from a panel which will be chosen by, or which will be constructed by or constituted by the NCCSA. At the end of the day, whether it is the transfer, the posting and the vigilance matters of bureaucrats, or the choice of board members or members of commissions, or those who head these boards or these bodies, the final say will rest with the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, who has the power, who although is not actually part of the 3-member body, but has the power to send back to the NCCSA any decision that he wishes to, that they wish to. According to Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who put out a televised message reacting to the development, reacting to the passage of the bill in the Rajya Sabha on Monday evening, it is a bid by the centre to interfere in the administration and the governance of Delhi through the back door, as he called it, as entering it through the Chor Darwaza, and this is seemingly a way for the centre to administer it through the bureaucrats that it wants, and to the extent that it wants them to, after they are posted in those positions. According to the Chief Minister, who said it in so many words, this first the ordinance and now the bill and later the act is something that basically takes away the value of an average Delhiite's vote. He meant this in the context of the people of Delhi choosing their representatives, choosing their MLAs, who then later go to the Delhi Legislative Assembly, which is empowered by the Constitution to make laws regarding the administration and the governance of the city, basically being rendered powerless after this ordinance and now this act has come into force. The arguments that Mr. Kejriwal gave range from comparing this particular act to the Government of India Act, which was put in force by the British in 1935, which allowed the citizens of India to choose their representatives, but these representatives did not have any teeth, or they did not have any actual powers in terms of administering the country. Mr. Kejriwal made it a point to not only compare the act to the Government of India Act 1935, but also to accuse the Bharatiya Janata Party Centre of having resorted to this after having lost consecutive elections in Delhi. He specifically mentioned the 2015 2020 Delhi Assembly elections, as well as the MCT elections of 2022, which saw the end of the BJP's 15-year rule in the civic body of Delhi, in the Delhi Municipal Corporation, and he has basically accused the BJP of having resorted to it because it could not come to power through the right channel, by being elected by the people of Delhi. He has specifically accused Prime Minister Modi of having gone back on his own promise, which he made in 2014 during a rally in Delhi, of giving full statehood to the city, which has, as a matter of record, been one of the promises that the Bharatiya Janata Party has consistently made over several decades in the city. And he also sort of cautioned Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah of being rejected by the people of Delhi in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, by specifically saying and referring to the fact that there are by specifically referring to the fact that there are 7 BJP MPs in the city. So basically the BJP is in power in all the 7 Lok Sabha seats in the capital. About how now, after this, the people of Delhi will realize that the BJP has tried and succeeded at placing itself at a vantage point where it can interfere in the affairs of the city through the Lieutenant Governor, through the NCCSA, and through the bureaucrats that it wants to administer the city instead of the members of the Legislative Assembly, the Aam Aadmi Party MLAs, who have actually been elected by the people. There are clearly some winners and some losers, but the jury is out on that till the Lok Sabha elections, till the Lok Sabha election results come, because this at the core is a question around how important, if at all, statehood for Delhi is, and what the people of Delhi will really go for, and as experience has shown, and it is a matter of record, that historically their choice for the Prime Minister when it comes to the Lok Sabha elections, but at least over the last 4 election cycles, two of the assembly, 2 of the Delhi Legislative Assembly and 2 of the Lok Sabha, the choices have been pretty clear that when it comes to the national stage, it is Mr. Modi that they go for. And when it comes to Delhi, they have made more, the people of the voters of Delhi have made clear more than once that it is Kejriwal who they prefer. With now this issue having come to a point where, on paper at least, this is supposed to be an exercise in bringing both the central government and the Delhi government onto the same plane when it comes to taking decisions about which government department has who at the helm, whether it is A, B, C or D civil servant. What remains to be seen is how big an issue, or how big is the issue of statehood for Delhi, and whether the people of Delhi want to be a part of a state, or whether they're okay being part of a national capital territory where both the center and the Delhi government function in tandem. Ostensibly, the reason for the ordinance and then later for the bill and then for the act to have been brought as per the center is to ensure that there is no lacuna in the or there are no lacunae in the functioning and in the governance, in the daily functioning and the governance of the city, and that can only be done when there is a codified chain of command, when there is a clear when there are clear rules when it comes to which entity or which power center is allowed to or is empowered to take a particular decision. Now, at the end of the day, what needs to be done and what remains to be seen is what decisions the authority takes and how they are able to impact and to what extent, and especially whether they are positive or negative in terms of the daily functioning of the city, in terms of making policies, in terms of making laws, in terms of making decisions which actually lead to and enhance the welfare of the people of the city. So, like I said, the jury is still out on whether this will become an issue for the people of Delhi, especially given the fact that they have in the past shown proclivity towards Mr. Modi when it comes to national elections, when it comes to the Lok Sabha. And then later, within a year of the Lok Sabha elections, what remains to be seen again is whether the results of the Lok Sabha elections will have any impact and whether statehood as an issue will continue to be an issue by 2025.